lot of good things. We built a lot of wells, we've done a lot of programs, but one thing that I've always thought was really important is to really shift thinking. I think given the considerations now about what we're facing environmentally, that there really needs to be a shift in how we approach such issues. One of the most important things is to really get people on board on the same perspective. From that perspective, we can address things. Even today, looking at just sustainability issues. I think a lot of people recognize it, but being able to talk about it, to really put specific things that we know we can do, put it into action. I think once we get a lot of agencies on board, I think the whole humanitarian sector will start seeing things in a different way. The question I posed was, we all know this. If we all know this, how can we have done anything about it? I think a lot of the things that we'll be able to do out of this is to really give a structure framework and how to move forward. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know necessarily the way my experience with Red Cross. It's definitely, we're going to work to impact the community now. But what's going to be the long-lasting effect is that we don't have to be there. In many ways, for the having communities themselves understand what the issues are, to be able to identify what the environmental considerations are. So it really doesn't matter for agencies necessarily to be there long term. These activities and these thoughts and these perspectives into the programs, that we can actually make an impact that lasts longer than our normal project cycles.
Humanitarian aid normally happens mostly after maybe natural or man-made disasters, and these disasters often impact hundreds of thousands of people. The responses to these disasters are mostly needed immediately. Often communities and environments are not able to cope with the demands for resources, both natural and human or other resources. It is essential that humanitarian agencies and workers who come and provide assistance to affected communities know much about the environment and act in environmentally sensitive ways, so that their actions do not impact the environment and other communities, maybe the beneficiaries themselves or even host communities, in a negative way. In the first place, humanitarian assistance should be sustainable, and in ensuring sustainability, one main way is to ensure that the environment is not negatively impacted. I would sincerely hope that the Green Recovery Toolkit helps humanitarian workers to understand environment better and also use what they have learned for the betterment of the environment and to better serve the beneficiaries and the affected communities whom they are expected to serve.
The International Red Cross has a long history in humanitarian assistance. Looking at the current trend in disasters, our work is increasingly important. There's more and more work for organizations who are working in disaster management, disaster relief. So having a tool for us as organization to take into account our effects on the environment already in our disaster response activities is something really necessary. We have a lot of people trained and experienced in disaster relief and recovery and reconstruction of societies, and we don't have enough people who are trained in environmental issues or in thinking what those response activities have as effect on the environment. The Green Recovery and Reconstruction Toolkit is definitely something that the Red Cross, as such a big organization, should include in their trainings. We have many disaster response trainings, we have general Red Cross trainings, we have recovery trainings, so having the toolkit as a module, an important module within those trainings, would make conscious already a lot of people working in this field about the environmental effects within their work. Having it right from the start, from building up communities after they've been through a disaster in an environmentally sustainable way is crucial, and is very important to have as an approach within the work of a big organization as the Red Cross, and is a great step forward in our efforts to build safer communities, which is what it is all about. So yeah, I think as much people as possible should really do this training and should get the mindset in there of taking the environment into consideration within their daily disaster management and recovery and reconstruction. It really will affect my own work. Next time I will go out to a disaster operation, I will be able to convince the people that work with me in the operation to take the environmental concerns into consideration. And I hope definitely for this toolkit to be disseminated in a large manner, and I think that can go through the Federation of Red Cross Red Crescent, as I said, by including it in our training courses, which is a way to reach a lot of people active in this field. So I do hope that the toolkit gets disseminated within at least the Red Cross world, preferably outside within other organizations that are active in recovery and reconstruction.